Let's take a quick look at all of the records and all of the fields inside of our current products table. We can see we have 480 records. Product IDs are ranging from 1 to 480. If I was going to insert another record, logically, that new record would be 481. Now, each record would like to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of data because there are 6 fields. Let me copy this. And 481 should be populated here. The name should be populated here. The cost of the trip here. The date that originated would be populated here. To be deleted here. And the category will be medium stay. So I've got the right number of fields in the right order. Let's run this statement, and we get an error. The reason for the error is because in this table, current products, the product ID field is known as an identity field. It will auto-increment and assign the value for you. So you only need to provide the last 5 fields. So let me delete the 481, run the insert statement again, and let SQL Server automatically assign that field. One row is effective, run our query, and we can see Yoga Mountain Getaway 5 days was auto-assigned 481. With 481 already inserted, what would happen if I inserted another record? Let's insert the Yoga Mountain 1 week getaway, a slightly longer trip. Run that, and see what our result set looks like. That was auto-assigned number 482. Now what's going on here? How come the table's smart enough to know the next number and assign itself? Well, let's look at our databases, let's look at JPro.co, let's go to tables, and let's go to the current products table. And let's right-click it and click Design. Now, if you were in SQL 2005, this choice would say Modify. Since we're in 2008, we're going to click Design. And of all the fields we have here, we know it's the product ID that seems to be assigning itself the number. That's because there's a property down here called Identity Specification. This is set to yes. Therefore, this field is an identity field. This second field, product name, is not. The other ones are not. But product ID is. And it's counting in an increment of 1. It started with 1. The first record was 1. The next was 2, and then 3. Because it's counting by ones. Now there's a subtle difference between these two insert statements. This first one is inserting a hard-coded date, while the second one is getting a date from a function. Notice the hard-coded date produced exactly what we fed it, but the get date produced the exact time that we ran the query. Let's look at what get date looks like in its own select statement. It's producing the exact same time I ran it. It looks like I'm making this video on the 18th of June 2009 at about 7:40 p.m. Is it still 7:40 p.m. and 30 seconds? Well, it's 7:40 p.m. and 42 seconds. Now it's 57 seconds, and now it's 7:41. GetDate is a function that gets the current time in your time zone. It can be used as part of an insert statement. So let's insert a 2-week yoga getaway in the exact same way. Okay, this one is identical to this one, except it's using a current timestamp. Let's see if we can see any difference between getDate and current timestamp. Let's run both of these at once. They look the same to me. Let's run them again. Actually, they are the same. GetDate is a function that returns the current time in your time zone, and current timestamp is a property, so it doesn't need parentheses, that returns the current time in your time zone. Now, current timestamp is the ANSI standard where getDate was an invention from Microsoft. So let's insert this record. It says inserted successfully. Any guesses as to what the 2-week yoga getaway has got for a number? The answer is 483. So we now have 483 products. If we look for all product names that have the word yoga in them, we get a total of 3 records, 481, 42, and 483. What happens if we delete all three of these records? Well, let's do this. Type delete from current products where product name like single quote % yoga % single quote and run it. Now, the highest number in our current products table is 480. Is the next insert going to be 481, or is the next insert going to continue on with higher numbers? Well, hopefully this code looks familiar to you. We ran this in the first part and decided we didn't need the 481 to be explicitly inserted. Now, after running this statement again, we get a gap in our numbering. So what do you do when your counter field has caused a gap, or you've lost a record and you want that record to be reinserted with its original number? Well, first of all, let me get rid of all my yoga records. And if I run this again, I'm going to get a higher counter field. So what I need to do is I need to do my own identity insert, not the automatic one. And you can only do this for one table at a time in your database. So I'm going to type set identity underscore insert, so this will be the manual insert, not the automatic one. So set identity insert for the current products table to on. I'm going to highlight this statement. It says completed successfully. Now, what I'm going to have to do is pick my own value for the product ID. Let's put 481. That's the value we want to insert. This matches up with the number of fields in the table, but we get an error because when you do an identity insert, you can't just pass by position. You must pass by name. So the first field name before the values keyword is product ID. The second field is called product name. The third field is called retail price. The next field is called origination date. The next field is to be deleted. And then we have category. Okay, let's run this statement. One row is affected. Now that I've inserted that record successfully, let's turn the identity insert feature for the current products table off so it goes back into its automatic mode. Now let's look at all of the records from the current products table. We have 481 records, but what is the ID of the last one? Hey, it's 481. Let's repeat this process to put back records 482 and 483. First of all, let's set the identity insert to on for the current products table. Let's insert record 482. Says one row affected. Let's do 483. That says one row affected. Let's turn the identity insert to off. And let's select everything from our current products table. And the records are back. Time for Lab 3.3 Skill Check 1. The Management Training Table in JProCo has a class ID as an identity field. Many records have been deleted from this table. You want to insert the following: the Empowering Others class with a class ID of 4. If you run a simple insert statement, the identity counter is already way past 4. You must set the table's insert property so you can manually insert all fields for this record. The approved date should be set with the current timestamp property. When you're done, your results should resemble the figure you see here.